That's our backpack and our piggyback, our piggyback backpack. If you'd like to see how I made this, stick around. Another quirky project by Billy 50 Designs. For this project, we're going to need, that's for the front outside pocket, and it's got 2 zipper pulls on it. I'm going to need a piece of zipper tape, which I haven't measured off yet, and 2 zipper pulls for that. And then we're going to need a zipper pull for the internal pocket. These are the covers for our strap connectors. I've got my little logo. And then I've got my square ring and my glides for my strap adjusters for the back straps. And then, depending on how many add-ons we're going to put, that'll determine how many of these little clips we're going to need. If we're only having a piggyback on the front, you'll only need 2. If we're having a piggyback on the front and the back, you'll need 4. If you're going to go absolutely crazy and do more than that, then, you know, it's up to you. But this is our piggyback. That'll be hanging off our backpack. Now I've got all my pieces here. I've got the bottom, top handle strap, the back straps, the bottom, the front, top and bottom, and the back. And all of those ones have been interfaced back lining pieces and my internal pocket. So everything's here ready to go, and let's get started, shall we? We're going to start with our pocket lining for the front piece. So I'm just going to lay that with, so directionally the fabric is facing up, and I'm going to put my zip along the bottom. I'm going to line that up. I'm going to stitch just straight across there, basting stitch close to the edge just to hold it on. Now I'm just going to fold that over like that, and I'm going to press that and just put another row of stitching along there just to hold that down. So I'm going to press it just so the edge is nice, because you don't want to get it caught in the teeth. So I'm just going to press it and then put a row of stitching again along the same line. It's all stitched down, held in place. Now I have never done a zip like this with you before, so it has a couple of little steps and it might seem tricky, but it's okay. It's not, and we'll get through it. So on the pattern piece, you'll see that these lines are marked. Let me zoom in a little bit. And you'll see that there's a little snip there. We need to snip into that corner, and we need to make sure we don't cut it too much. What we are going to do is we are going to fold this piece down and this piece down and that piece down, which is going to make room for our zip. Yes, sounds confusing. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Let's make a snip into these corners. So I'm just going to go right in there, right up to that line, not over the line. Up to the line, not over the line. Now you'll see we've got those little cuts there. And now we can fold this down and this over, and you'll see how I've got my little corner there. The only problem is if you're using vinyl, it's quite thick and bulky, And it's a little bit difficult to get it to stay there while we actually sew our zipper pocket in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of glue. Now that that's tacky, we're just going to push those sides together. If you want, you can just put a couple of clips on there for the time being, just while we press all of this into place. As straight as possible, because if you don't, you're going to get a wonky corner on the other side. So let's try and keep it straight. Now you'll see that we have a nice folded edge on this side. We're going to lay our zip and we're going to place this over the top. We're going to line all that up. And we're going to stitch down here, across here, and up here. That's going to give us a beautiful finish. I'm using a top stitch number 5. That works perfectly. Now stitching's all beautiful. I'm going to take this part of my lining and I'm going to fold it up to the top of the zip. So I've got my lining, the top of my zip, and then I'm going to take my top piece and I'm going to clip that on as well. I'm going to clip that all the way across the top. I'm going to take that to the machine and stitch across there. Then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to top stitch along that seam. We've got the top piece on and it's all stitched nicely. So now we're just going to flip that over and we're going to stitch down each side of the pocket to close that up. Now we're going to work on the front. We're going to put this little piece, which is going to be our strap connector holder. I'm going to put that on there. These are my strap connectors, which are 2 inches by 3 inches. 2 inches by 3 inches. So I'm just going to give them a cut. I've got my line ruled down the center. And then I'm just going to put a little piece of tape . Little piece of tape, and then I'm going to fold each edge in and then I'm going to top stitch. So I'm going to make the 2 for the front. I'm going to make 2 strap connectors for where the straps are going to sit at the back, and we'll leave it at that for now. Snip these apart. Okay, I'm going to take 2. Now the way this goes is this piece here goes with the curved edges at the bottom, so the straight line along the top, and it's going to sit right there in the center like that. I'm going to make sure these are all even, and then we're going to stitch around close to the edge to hold them on. Let's go down 1.5 inches from the top, and then we're going to center. Make sure it's in the center. So it should be that way a little bit. And now I can stitch it in place. Now I'm going to install my zip. So I've got my zip and I've just made a notch halfway so I can match that up right there. So I'm putting my zipper tape face down. Then when we get to here, so what are we? Let's have a look. Let's say 8 centimeters or 3.25 inches. That's where we're going to start cutting around the corner. And I'm going to cut another, let's say another 8 centimeters goes to here. So here to here. So I'm just going to put some little snips in here. That's going to help my zipper get around the corner. And then I'm going to just put that in line because that should be lined up right there with that edge. All right, so now we can squish this around the corner, and I want you to not cut the zipper tape, but let's stretch the actual vinyl around the corner. All right. Actually use some pins there, I think. Yeah, that's a good idea. Lovely. Now we'll do the same on this side. All right. There we go. So now what we want to do is we want to start stitching 1 centimeter down. So just here, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around to 1 centimeter past here. If it is easier for you, I just peeled that part off just to help that lay a little bit more flat. and then I'm going to the machine. Okay, so that's in there. Lovely. Looks absolutely stunning. We've got a nice curve on our corner. I'm going to take the front lining piece now, which is the same. So the front one's got that little notch in it. And I'm going to place that face down. I'm going to line up the center top. And then I'm just going to pin that on all the way around. I'm going to find our 1 centimeter mark. Perfect. So now we're going to start just here 1 centimeter before, and we're going to stitch all the way around, and we're going to stop 1 centimeter past. That is all stitched on. So now I'm just going to do some little snips around these corners here. And then there's one more weird cut, and I'm going to show it to you on this side because I think it might be easier. So this is where we stitch down to. That's our 1 centimeter. Here's our corner, and what we're going to do is we're going to snip from our corner to the end of our 1 centimeter on an angle there. All right, now we can turn this out. All right. It's fantastic. So what's going to happen now is these parts will be sewn together like that, and that'll give us the nice square edge on our zip. Okay, but that'll all make sense in a minute. In the meantime, I'm just going to flatten all of that out, and then I'm going to top stitch from here all the way around just to where that ends there. Fabulous. So that's in there. Our top stitching is done. We've got our hardware on the front, name tags or whatever you want. And yes, that should be longer. Okay. Now we're going to take the bottom piece. I'm going to line that up. And I'm going to stitch across here, okay, in line with there, and then I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to top stitch it. The front is now finished. Let's see if we open that up, we can see into our groovy pocket, which is a nice surprise from the green on the outside. Before I move on to the next step, I'm going to take the other half of my zip and I'm going to put my 2 zipper pulls on. Now we have that on there. We are going to secure the sides here. And the way we do that is by folding all the lining back. And I'm going to get the 3 pieces here. So a little piece of, so that little tab there of the lining, I'm going to get the zip and I'm going to get my outer fabric. I'm going to hold them down and then I'm going to stitch straight across here with a straight stitch, and that's going to hold it in place, and I'm going to do that on both sides. Now you'll see when I open those back over, that's all secure. Zoom in a little bit. And I have this beautiful edge. And my zip ends in line with the outer part of my panel. It's looking good. Now let's do the lining for the other side so we can get the other panel on. I have my lining piece and I have my pocket piece. Put that in the middle. Now the placement of that pocket is very simple, so I'm just going to measure down 1 inch, then I'm going to lay the pocket down and I'm going to rule my line 1 inch under there, and that's where my zip is going to go. So I'm just going to make a 1/2 inch so I'm measuring 1 inch from each end of here, and I'm measuring 1/2 inch down from the line, and that's where I'm going to place my pocket. Now I can take this to the machine and just stitch around the end there. Going to make a snip all the way down, almost to the corner, and then I'm going to snip right into the very corner there without snipping through the stitches. And the same on this side. Now I'm going to poke this through there. Now I can take this and press that down to give it a nice clean finish. Now I'm going to place that underneath, and I'm going to stitch that in place. So we've got that in there. Now we're just going to flip this over. We're going to pull that up, and then I am just going to stitch around here, here, here. That's in there. Our pocket is all closed up. We can trim off any of these little threads. Good. That's that done, and now we can move on to finishing the back panel. For our back panel, we are going to be doing a couple of things. We're going to be putting on our piggybacks. We're going to be putting on our strap holder, or connector holder, exactly the way we did it for the front, so no different. We're going to attach 2 strap holders, and they will be 1 inch in, 1 inch from the side, okay? Before we go to the machine, we need to make our strap, and we need to make our top handle. If I can find it, here it is. I need to find our top handle because all of these get stitched under there. So, this is our piece of vinyl for our strap. It's 3 inches wide, and I've put sticky tape, double-sided tape down each side. I've folded the edge in, and then I'm going to fold the whole thing in half, which is going to give me a 1 inch strap. So I'm going to do that for those 2 straps, and then I'm going to do exactly the same thing for my top handle. I'm going to take the 3 of those to the machine, and I'm going to stitch down each side of the straps. So we can get rid of some clips. Let's tack this on with a basting stitch at the bottom so we can remove those clips. So now I've just used a little piece of double-sided sticky tape to position all of those, and then I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to position it, and then I'm just going to stitch around it. You can use another bit of tape. along here and just down each side, and that's going to help keep it in place while you sew it. So there's a few little tricks, but it's not difficult. Then we will be positioning this two inches from the top and centered. And once you've got that in place, you can take it to the machine and you can top stitch all the way around there. Now this will sit out like that. There you go. That'll help it fit. That'll help it sit a little bit flatter while we're sewing it. And we're starting to look like a backpack. And if you managed to get that sewn in there first time round, good for you. Now, let's do these straps and get them connected. Make sure our strap is going in the right direction, and we're going to go up and down. And because they're vinyl, it might be a bit tricky, but let's just do the best we can. All right. Now I'm going to go through my D-ring. I'm going to go back up through there. And yes, it's the most difficult way possible to do it, but whatever. Possibly could have done this before. Before I put my straps on. Okay, now. So that's how we go. And now I'm just going to put a rivet in there to hold that together. Here's our first one in, and now you can see that I can make this strap longer or shorter. It's held in place securely with a rivet. Now let's do the other one. Now we can put it all together. So we are going to fold that out of the way. Going to find the center. Then I am going to match them up. We're just going to clip it down to here, where the zip is. Once you have that all clipped on, you can take that across to the machine and stitch all the way around there. Or you can do it this way, and so you can stitch all the way around there and then come back and then clip this one on and do the same thing. Or you can clip this one on now and stitch them together at the same time. It's up to you. I'm going to try doing them at the same time. So I've clipped that one on as well, and I'm going to take it to the machine. I'm going to stitch from here all the way around to the end of the zip on the other side. We have sewed that together, so now we are going to find where we were sewing. Put some snips in the corners. Now I've just folded this out this way, and I've got my two linings here, and I've got my outer fabric here. I'm going to stitch down here, and then I'm going to stitch across the bottom, and then I'm going to stitch up this side here. So I've sewn the sides and I've turned this bag in the right way, and I've pushed my lining down, and I am going to top stitch so the top stitch matches the front. So I top stitched all the way to here, so I am going to top stitch from here all the way round, round, and I'm going to stop there in line with the one at the front. So it's going to finish off outside. So we've got our top stitching on. We've got our side seams done. Looks great. Now we need to close the sides of our lining, so we are going to just fold that back . And put our two lining pieces together and stitch them straight down the side. We're going to leave the bottom open for later. So we've got our sides of our lining sewn. And we are going to finish the bottom. All we've got to do is make sure the top of the bag is open, first of all. And just line up these sides here, and all we're going to do is we're going to stitch across the bottom like that, and then when we get to the edge we're going to flatten that out and stitch across there as well. Turn that out and see what we've got. Okay, let's have a look. Now we just have to finish our lining. That one's going to be a simple one. We are going to match up edges I'm going to fold them under. You can iron them if you want. Stitch those ones together. And then we're going to do the same thing on each of the edges. So we're going to pinch them, match up the seams. Just going to fold the edges in, and I'm going to iron that, and then stitch across there. This side. Push that back in there. And now we have one absolutely stunning piggyback backpack ready to go. Let's close this up. How good is that? So I can piggyback on the front. Now I won't lose that. And if you want a little more protection, but quick access, put it on the back. So let's go under here. Gonna clip that on. Now when this is on my back, this will be between me and my bag. So nobody's gonna be able to grab it, which is absolutely superb when you're traveling. So if you just need that for a quick entry to the aeroplane and you're in the airport, that is great. And then when you get to your hotel and you no longer need all of this, we can use this with our crossbody strap as our day trip bag. That's our backpack and our piggyback. Our piggyback backpack.
Make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this page and hit the little bell so you'll be notified every time a new video is released. Another quirky project by Dolly 50 Designs.